This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Maybe tap that app. How you doing, my man? How you hanging in there?
Doing well, Big O. How are you?
Very good. Can't complain. Tough night last night with Marlins, Inter, and, of course, the Miami Heat losing last night. I was talking about this, and I've been talking about this the last couple of days about Bam, and we've got to get to the point where we're past that, where we're expecting more. Even the Heat, I explained this, which is something I don't think anybody really talks about, is the Heat tell us who Bam is by the way they play him. And, Denver tells us who Jokic is, the way they play him, and Philly tells us what Embiid is, the way they play him. And Robert Williams, they tell us what he is, the way they play him as a defensive force for them. Bam has to play the way he has to play. And I think we have to kind of get past this point that he's ever going to be an offensive force. Last night, you needed somebody to take over. Bam, Jimmy is out of gas, bro. The poor man has left everything out on the court. Lowry is cooked. PJ Tucker is hurting. Max Strus is out there on one leg. You desperately need your guy that's getting paid a boatload of money to kind of take over, and there is innate. It's not there, dude. It's just not there. And if it's not there in those kind of situations, Anthony, isn't it unrealistic to ever expect it to be?
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying this all year when people on Twitter and others have been asking me, why doesn't Bam go for 30? Why? That's just not who he is. It's just not who he is. And I think at this point, it's clear that defensively, I know you have your issues with him defensively, but defensively, he's elite. He's a great defensive player for what he does.
No, he's not.
For what he does.
No, he's not. No, he's not. That's wrong. Also, that's a false narrative that you guys are pushing now. He can't defend anybody his size, bro. You cannot be elite when you are a bully, and Bam Adebayo is a bully. Okay, he gets handled by men his size, and that's what I was talking about before you got here. I watched Alonzo Mourning as an undersized center in a real big man's game,
right?
And he would block their shots.
They're totally different defenders, though. They're totally different defenders as far as style.
But Alonzo Mourning is an elite defender for centers. This guy, sure, he's an elite perimeter defender. He's not really an elite interior defender.
Right. But in today's NBA, look at Rudy Gobert, right? Rudy Gobert is an elite shot blocker. He can get played off the court in the playoffs because in today's NBA, you can't just be a shot blocker.
Right.
You have to guard guys one-on-one. I'm not saying Alonzo would get played off the court, but he might in this NBA. He might because of the way
he can move better than Gobert. He can move better than plus, please, the post game of Alonzo is.
There's no doubt.
There is no post game nowadays. Alonzo would be feeding off of everybody right now in the league. You would drop it into him for an easy 2 points, maybe 3 because of the foul.
Yeah, it's a different league. But what I'll say offensively for Bam is he is. I mean, he's not a go-to offensive. I mean, that's not a hot take. Like he's not a go-to offensive guy. You don't just throw it to him 30 times in the post and say, create for us and others. That's just not who he is. He was a natural scorer in college. He hasn't, he's said it multiple times. That's not his strength. Obviously, he's never been a go-to guy offensively. It's something he's had to grow into. He's averaged close to 20 points this year. 19. Now, when he needs him to be the number one option because Jimmy and Kyle aren't 100%, it's just not who he is at this point. And if the Heat are relying on that in Game 6 to save their season,
they're done.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. They're done. All right, so issue number 2 is Kyle Lowry, because clearly he stole money this year. He stole all $27 million that he made this year. When you needed him most, he wasn't available. He missed a whole bunch of games. He's not in shape. And, Anthony, I've been around this long enough to know that normally guys have weight clauses and all that kind of stuff in Heat contracts. I'm wondering if that was excluded in this one right from the get-go, and how do you move on with him in the offseason? Because Dude, I was wrong about this. I thought this was a contract that was bad on the back end. It's bad from day one now. All right, because this was a bad contract. If this is the Kyle Lowry you're getting, I mean, last night I thought Spo screwed up. You should have been playing Gabe Vincent a lot more than Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry had more missed shots than fouls, bro, last night. That's his accomplishment last night. How does the Heat reach this guy, or is he going to be professional enough to look in the mirror and say, dude, I can't look like Orlando Alzugaray and go out there and play? You know what I mean? So, people like me are not supposed to be on NBA courts. All right, Anthony. So we got you back now. That's all right, bro. It's live radio. It happens. What do they got to do with Lowry? Because it doesn't seem like there's some kind of a weight clause set already in place that you can enforce. He's got to do something about his body, bro. And Riley, as you know, you've been around this. He implores his older players to come in lighter every year, not heavier every year. That kind of was his thing, that he would like his veterans always. So I don't know if they keep doing that kind of stuff, but you tell me, what do we know about this situation? Because that Kyle Lowry is not the Lowry that they need.
Yeah, well, look, obviously when you get older, you have to take care of your body a little more. With Kyle, I don't know. It could have been bad timing. I mean, look, he was healthy all year. I know he missed a lot of games in the regular season. It was personal issues, right? He really didn't miss. He missed one game because of an injury the entire regular season, and then he suffers his first injury of the year in the first round of playoffs. It's obviously terrible timing. He hasn't been the same player. 0 for 6, 0 assists in 25 minutes last night. First game in his career where he's had 0 points and 0 assists when he's played more than 15 minutes in a game. Just terrible timing for him to, obviously get hurt, suffer his first, as he says, soft tissue injury in his NBA career. He's 36. There's 2 more years left on his contract. Yeah, he's going to have to take care of his body. If he's going to be available in the playoffs, it's going to be probably an issue now next regular season where the Heat maybe are careful with him minutes-wise. The maintenance plan that Dwayne Wade was on late in his career might be that type of thing, just so you know that he'll at least give him a chance to be ready at the end. Yeah,
you have Gabe Vincent.
Yes.
Remember,
yeah, and he's playing well.
At the beginning of the year, you were writing it. Ira was on our platform here. We kept talking about it. Do they have a backup point guard? Well, we found out they got a backup point guard, and if you can keep Gabe around, well, that gives you the luxury of not having to burn out Lowry now, man. Because hell, a lot of time. Last night, dude, 25 to 23 in minutes. That let me piggyback off another question here. And I love Spo. Just so you all know, I've always been a Spo guy, no matter what has gone on, Bumpgate, you name it. I've always backed Spo, and I'm backing Spo now. But I can disagree with Spo. Just like I love Riley, I would never want to get rid of Riley, but I can disagree with Riley, and I can disagree with anybody. Spo has a little bit of an issue of overcoming this veteran thing, and he has to maybe control veterans a little more. And let me explain. Last night, he deferred to Lowry because of the veteran, and he played him over Vincent, which was a bad move. 2 nights ago, hindsight's 2020. You go up 3-1, dog. You go and tell Jimmy and PJ, hey, guys, you're staying right here in Miami. We'll be back to get you for Game 5. We're going to go up to Game 4 without you. Or what is it? Yeah, no, 4. We're going to play Game 4 without you. You're going to go to Miami. We'll see you then. We don't need you for this one. You need to rest. Playing Butler on that Game 4, he was useless in Game 5. And last night you put him on another 40 minutes. What do you think he has left for Game 6? He would have been better off resting PJ and Butler in Game 4. You mission accomplished. Give away that game. Go tie, get back down to Miami. Give him 2 more days of rest and recovery, and maybe you would have gotten a better Butler and PJ, last night. I think Spo has to sometimes – he can't defer to veterans as much as he has lately. It has burned him. He has to do what's best for the team. And, you and I talked about this. They probably told him, hey, we could get this one. We could get this one.
Yeah, they always think that. You know that. They always think
right.
that.
Well, you have to protect them from themselves. And I think Spo didn't do a good job last night of protecting his team from Lowry by giving Vincent more minutes. And a couple of nights ago in game 4, he probably should have had the balls. I know it's a ballsy move to say, but you probably should have said, "Hey, Jimmy, PJ, I love you guys, and I get it, but we got what we needed. I need you guys to rest so I can have you fresher for game 5 and we can take a 3-2 lead on a home court."
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, look, I if he does that and they lose game 4, obviously, without PJ and Jimmy, and then they come back in game 5 and they play like this, he's criticized for punting game 4.
Right.
You know, so it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. Yeah, looking back, it probably would have been a good move just because you had no chance in game 4, apparently, based on how they played. And it would have been good to save their legs. But I think, you know, it doesn't, honestly, right now, with the way Jimmy looks, the way Kyle looks health wise,
I feel bad.
Tyler's not available. It just doesn't play. It just doesn't matter. None of this matters. Like, whether Kyle's playing or not, I mean, you're not going to beat them with Gabe Vincent as your starting point guard. And, you know, then having to bump somebody else into the bench rotation that wouldn't be in there otherwise to fill Gabe's spot. You're not going to beat them with Jimmy not playing. It's just the Celtics right now are the better team than this version of this Heat team.
Yeah.
With Jimmy's attempted 6 free throws in the last 3 games. He attempted 18 free throws in game 1. That just shows you right there how limited Jimmy is at this point. And, you know, I think it's pretty obvious that the Celtics right now are the healthier and better team.
Yeah. By the way, I got nothing but admiration for Jimmy. I can complain about Bam. I can complain about Lowry. I got no complaints about Jimmy Butler. He has left it all on the court, and he just does not have enough help. And at this point, he is just so injured and so worn out that he just doesn't have any gas left, dude. I feel bad for him because I feel like he's looking around going, "Yo, man, like, can somebody help me and step up?" And there's Joel Embiid sitting back in Philadelphia going, "The Miami Heat need an extra star."
Trolling.
You know, yeah, he's trolling. He's trolling. But by the way, he wasn't lying.
Right. Just funny because he just lost to that team, right? Like,
but you know what? He can say all he wants, dude. He played his ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, with a broken face and thumb, and
you
know, that guy left it all on the court. That guy's a man's man. You know what I mean? That guy can say whatever the hell he wants. You know what I'm saying? I give him props. James Harden better shut the hell up. But you know, but I feel bad for Jimmy, dude. I have nothing but admiration. Like, while, you know, the Butler, the Lowry contract may be proving me right now. You know, early on, I never looked at Jimmy as a superstar, and there were many times that he played like it this year, proving me wrong on that. I got nothing but admiration for that guy, man. I feel really, really bad for Jimmy Butler because he has just played his entire heart out.
It's been incredible.
He doesn't have any more left, and there isn't enough people. Bam Adebayo can't pick him up. Lowry can't pick him up. Tyler Hero is sitting there injured. What is it? A growing injury with Tyler Hero? Yeah. Well, if I had his wife, I wouldn't have any growings either. But I mean, that's just a whole different ball game. But anyway, it's just he's looking around and he just doesn't have any help, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously anything can happen in one game. The Heat haven't had that great 3-point shooting game in this entire postseason, pretty much. Maybe the Heat all of a sudden have one of those regular, they were a great 3-point shooting team in the regular season, as we all know. Maybe, the law of averages hits and they make 25 threes in Boston and they win somehow. But unless that happens, I just don't see it. They're going to have to shoot the ball really well. Boston's daring them to make outside shots.
They're done.
Miami just isn't hitting them.
They're done.
And it's a shame because, look, 2 years ago, they were in the finals. Injuries were again a factor then with Goran and Bam were out. Who knows what that series could have been if the Heat were healthy.
Yeah.
And now, Boston is very good. I'm not saying they would have beat Boston even if they were healthy. But if Jimmy is 100% and Kyle is close to 100% and Tyler Hero is available, the Heat could have won this series. So it's just tough. I mean, a lot of times this late in the year, it's about who's the healthiest. And the Heat definitely aren't healthy right now.
Yeah. How do they? I mean, I know the season's not over yet. Overall, but
a long off season for that.
I know there's a whole off season that we're definitely going to talk about. But in this game coming up tomorrow, what changes what kind of desperation moves should Spo make? I love Spo because, like, everybody's all effed up, and he doesn't want it. He never wants to give any excuses. We got enough. He always, does all that crap, which is like, yeah, sure, Spo, whatever you want to say, dude. Your team's all effed up, bro.
Yeah.
So, what kind of desperation moves do you make tomorrow?
Take 55 threes and just hope for the best. That's, I mean, honestly, like you have to muck it up. The defense has to play great.
Yeah, like the first half.
Like the first half. If they want to have a chance, the defense has to hold them to like 90 points because it's hard to envision this version of this Heat team scoring over 100.
Right.
And they're just going to need to shoot the ball extremely well from three and have one of those nights. And again, that's not impossible, but
they need Duncan Robinson to go off.
I do. I mean, I think Duncan, look, we've had a lot of conversations about Duncan. Duncan played 28 minutes last night. They need all the shooters they can get on the floor. Yeah, defensively, he's a liability, but they need guys to put up threes and need a lot of threes to go in to win in Boston.
Oladipo, you think plays more?
Yeah, I mean, if Tyler's out, he's going to have to play more. He's one of the only shot creators on the available right now, and semi-healthy shot creators on the team. So, Bam, going back to the start of our conversation, Bam is going to need to be more aggressive somehow. You can't rely on him to score 30 points, but he's going to have to take.
You can't rely on him to be aggressive.
Yeah, well, he's going to need to be.
Forget the 30 point. Forget putting a point thing on it. It's just to say that Bam's going to be aggressive offensively. Right. Period is just crap because it's rare. It doesn't happen every night.
Look, the Celtics are 9-point favorites tomorrow, so
I know
that tells you everything you need to know right there.
It's bad. It is bad, bro. Let me see. What else do we have over? Anything else that I'm missing? That you had an issue with last night?
No. I mean, look, Boston again got to the free throw line 9 more times. I think they've attempted 49 more free throws in the Heat in the last 3 games.
Well, that's all Jimmy.
That's all Jimmy.
That's
all Jimmy. And
that's all Jimmy, right there. Jimmy would be going at least 8 or 9 times per game. So you'd have like around 27 more trips just for Jimmy alone. You know what I mean? And then Jimmy missing, other guys, maybe with an offensive rebound, they pick up a foul or something like that. So the fact that you don't have Jimmy and then there's no one else that can really penetrate and create in there. You know what I'm saying? Depot would be the only other guy that you can do with something like that.
And credit to the Celtics because they've taken a page out of Milwaukee's book defensively. This reminds me of the Milwaukee series last year where the offense could not do anything in the playoffs in the first round when they got swept, where Milwaukee just sagged into the paint and dared the Heat to beat them with outside shots. Jimmy couldn't do anything because he couldn't get to the free throw line because there was no way to drive into the paint with the way they were defending him. It's the same thing what Boston's doing. They're putting size on him. They're putting 3 guys in the paint and saying, okay, you're not getting into the paint, so the lifeblood of your offense, which is getting to the foul line, it's not going to be there. You're not going to get to the rim. Beat us with mid-range shots. Doing the same thing with Bam, and they're daring the Heat. And it's very similar to what Milwaukee did to this Heat offense last year, and it's working again.
What are you working on in the Herald so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, I have a preview of a very important Game 6 in regards to what the guys are saying ahead of the game, how the Heat could maybe find a way to pull out an upset to force a Game 7 on Sunday. Injury updates, as you know, most important probably, but with this Heat team right now. So we'll have updates throughout the day. Spoelstra's talking later on as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next 24 hours. So
yep, I know what he's going to say this afternoon. Don't let go of the rope. All right, there he is. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chiang. Catch his exceptional work at the Miami Herald. Please subscribe like I do. And, of course, catch him twice a week here with the Liquor Split Miami Heat Report. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Big O. Talk to you soon.
You got it. Don't forget, $2.99 flat fee. Download that app, iOS or Android. Liquor Split. Tap that app, baby. Get your favorite liquor. Get those snacks delivered. Tap that app. Liquorsplit.com.